The sponge I used on this one, I used one sponge for the whole thing. I used a triangle. It just depended where I contacted the sponge on the wood to create the different textures. And when you're using sponges, you don't really want to, so on this I'm going to do that. I was going for a earth color, sort of from outer space, what the earth would look like. That's what I was going for on that. But since I did red as a primary color, I'm going to do almost like a fire camouflage. Okay, so with fire camouflage, I need a lighter red because I used a dark red already. I need an orange.
Okay, how are those sold? Are they sold as like a lighter and a darker set, or are they like individual colors? They're the two pieces you have?
You can buy them per set. So this is your, like you can buy them per set or you can buy them individually at Michael's.
Yeah.
It's a better bang for your buck to buy them in the set of 2, 4, 6, 12.
So all 12, are they the same in both ones, or no, you bought two different sets?
No, one is bright and the other one is opaque or light.
So you can buy one.
Yeah, so I bought one of each. And if I want to mix colors, I can mix colors after the fact.
How expensive is a set of them?
I don't remember.
Like 30 bucks?
Yeah, probably 30 bucks each or 30 bucks. But if you buy them individually, they're almost 5 bucks each. Okay?
What's the name brand?
The name brand is Craftsmart.
Okay.
Multi-surface premium stain acrylic paints. So these are premium stain acrylic paints. They're more expensive than just acrylic paints. These penetrate into the wood and give you a whitewash look that you can still see the wood grain. The solid-based acrylic paints are just solid, opaque, and they give you a full solid color. But you can water them down if you water them down with water. These are water-based, I believe. So if I were to wash these back, I would dilute them with water. So I need one more yellow.
There's 60 bucks for the set.
60 bucks for one?
One set.
Okay, yeah, so for the two
16
of them,
colors. 16 colors.
But they always have a coupon anyway.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a different set then, because these comes in set of 12. Each kit here is 12. So they were a little cheaper than that. You can also use this as a gold paint, which is iridescent gold, and it actually has 24 karat gold leaf flake in it. This is what I used for the Prince of Egypt cane, because he wanted real gold on his handle and on the cane, and in the scriptures that was engraved. So first I start out by throwing a little bit of paint into each one of my, oh, awesome. That was all the mixture. Before you do that, you want to shake your paints. And I don't seem to have a paper towel. Sweet, thanks. You can also use these containers, which are shot glasses you get from the dollar store. They're good for paint palettes. Yeah, I just put a few drops in because I don't want to waste it. What I put in there, I want to use. And then since I'm not using an excessive amount, I can put multiple colors into the same container. But I won't be able to bend it over. Well, maybe to show you. I just don't want them all to merge. I don't do a huge pool of paint. I'm not dipping these in the paint and then punching it to the wood because it would be far too saturated with paint. It would be too sloppy and you'd have big globs and bubbles of paint on the side of your piece, unless that's what you're going for. Try it out. I haven't tried it yet. what I do when I'm doing that technique, I use a paintbrush. And I paint my sponge. I paint my sponge. That way I have a good coating. You want it on the high sides. It doesn't matter if it's in the low sides. Well, I mean, you want it in both, because when you stamp it, your first stamp will be the high sides. Your second stamp will be the low sides.
Hold still, okay?
It gives you two different textured patterns. One will be hollow in the center, and the other one will be hollow in around the center impressions. Okay? So with this little amount of paint, I can do multiple impressions on my box. And since it's a stain, it's a premium stain, after I'm done, I will still be able to see the wood grain. So basically what I do is I just punch it on, switch it. See, so in those 5 punches, I had 5 different textures because I had 5 different amounts of paint on the piece. So I do it again. And if I want to just a little tiny triangle, I would just use the tip of that teardrop. I wouldn't use the whole portion. If I want a half moon, I use the back end. If it is excessive glob, I'd go over it a couple times. Because we can always put different colors on top as we go. We're basically building upon each color to get your final effect.
You typically wear a glove?
You can, but I don't. It's water-based paint, so it washes off easy.
Okay.
I just wipe it on my work pants, so it makes me look like I do a lot of work. No, whenever I'm working on my couch, I always have a towel over my lap. So if I'm carving, all the wood chips fall in the towel. If I'm staining, dyeing, I spill something or need somewhere to wipe my hands, I wipe the towel that's in my lap. No, only on Sundays. No.
You ever use a heat gun when you dry the paint?
No, with acrylic paints and acrylic stains, they dry quite quickly.
Quickly meaning 10 minutes or half an hour?
As long as you don't have excessive glob on the piece, it dries pretty much quickly. So the part that I first made the impressions on is dry by the time I got all the way around.
Okay.
But even if it's not wet, or even if it's not dry, if it's still wet, it doesn't matter, because those colors can blend, come together, and it gives you the marbled effect, gives you different colors by blending the two colors. So there I did yellow. I would recommend using a certain paintbrush per color, unless you feel like cleaning your paintbrush every 5 minutes. I dab the sponge into water, I wipe it on some paper towel, and then I continue. I throw some, you see I still had some orange in there, it mixed with the yellow, that's okay, it's all going to be mixed anyway. I can be done probably 10 minutes. And you can overlap some of the colors as you go, because you want to give it that marbled effect as we go.
So after the colors are applied and it's dried, the next step is to...
After the colors are all dried, and and you're happy with the marbled effect that you created,
Yeah,
all you really need to do is start finishing it. You can apply tung oil, linseed oil, no, not linseed oil. You can apply any oil finish over top of the paint, any poly, any varathane, whatever your preferred finish is. You can apply it over the paints. And then I would do the lighter red. Or this might be darker red, we'll see. Yeah, it's darker red. You don't want them all in the middle, so have some come out over the edges, just to give it, you don't want it to be exactly the same. Marble is never the same. It's always different patterns as it goes around the piece.
So how are you determining the base color, Kate? Is that just through experience?
Yeah, usually I pick a lighter color of my primary color, and then all the lighter colors go above that. But the darker red of the base color goes over top. And then if I have too much of one color, I can come back and I can go back to the base color. I can go back through the yellow, back through the orange, back through the red again, to get them all layered on top of one another, and to just get the right look. So far, it's okay there. Now I would come back to the orange again. And you can switch different sponges, or you can use the exact same sponge all the way through. So my second time I'm going to take that orange and put it into the colors that I put on. So I'm putting it over the yellow, over the red, to make it more marbled effect. I do have some spots where I've missed, but if I was doing it truly, sitting on my couch, being a little bit of a perfectionist, I would have an equal balance of each color and equal depth of each color. So they build upon each color to give you the depths. You get the depths by the multiple colors, or the two colors. The two different shades of the same color. Sorry?
Is this a popular design right now
It can be.
in the craft shows and all that?
I haven't sold this product in the craft shows because this product is time consuming and expensive. So, but it's been in galleries. So, like this bowl with the time in it, that bowl, textured, painted, finished, sanded, turned, that's $150.
So it has almost a fan zone.
Yeah, yeah. I will do one that's going to be purple, blue, like the Van Gogh painting. Yeah. So once you're happy with the marbling, I mean, I could keep going and do colors. You'll get a little bored over time. But I would continue going, layering, going through the colors, and then through again and through again. On that one, I probably went through the colors 4 times. Over top, layering them till I was happy with the final outlook. You need the lighter colors to make the darker colors pop. Okay? And play around with it. You can make earth camo, fire camo, you can make different effects. This one I used metallic paints, and this one was actually, I used a different technique than sponges, but that created a different type of marble. I did it on walnut. After the fact, it's quite dark. You can't see it until you're right up close. So the next time I do it, that will be a lighter wood with the dark metallic paints. You sort of want a color contrast. So with a light wood that's going to show, I would do darker. If it's a darker wood, I would do lighter colors to give it that artistic color contrast.
What's the determining factors for you to decide on what thing you're going to do? Is it just the mood you're in, or is it the wood, or the design, or? Because there's so many different things out there that you can use.
Yeah.
What makes you decide to use any particular method?
Sort of really just how I feel that day. If I like the bowl the way it is, with no finishes or stains or whatever, then I'll put a little color to it. If it's a nice rich dark wood or a rich exotic wood, I would never stain or dye because you take it away from the nice color. But in boring woods, like just plain maple that's not spalted, plain poplar that's not spalted, this is ambrosia maple. It does have some ambrosia qualities in it, but this piece is quite plain, so I wanted to give it a little color to make it pop. So that's sort of, if it's too boring for me, the way as it sits off the lathe, I want to try and make it more appealing by doing something, either painting it, solid colors, stains, texturing it, marbling it. You can play around with different shapes, or you can draw flowers and different stuff on them, but I don't have the desire to do that. I sort of want to replicate some sort of look that's already out there, whether it be like colors of the earth put into a marble pattern, or the firefighter camouflage put into a marbled look. I do like reds and yellows and oranges, so some of my boxes correlate that. But for the most part, I'm just really playing, trying new techniques and seeing what works. And if it's a boring piece, I get to play it. Yeah. Any other questions?
Awesome. Thank you, Pete.
Nice.